time for a show. Good morning, Emmett. I'm awake. I'm really awake. I slept great. Went to bed early. Woke up at the normal time. Oh, left the cat's blanket on the floor. Hold on. We'll talk about Christmas and everything else and how everyone did. Emmett's asking. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Monday. It's December 28th, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. We're back to the Costco, Starbucks one. Frank's here. Frank says he had a great Christmas. I had a great Christmas. Let's see. When did I see you all last? I saw you Thursday the 24th. And it's been a really nice time since. So what happened? Well, Thursday, finished the first draft of the book. So talk about that in a minute. Thursday, I worked. I got a ton of work done. Went to the gym. Had a nice time. Oh, there's the trash. Friday, Christmas Day, slept in as much as I could. The cat, wasn't really feeling that. And did a bunch of, so if we go way back, if we go back to, I think it was March or April, I was working on a Tony Robbins program. Other than the stuff I implemented as a result of that, I haven't touched it since. Well, I worked on it for hours more on Friday. And not only was there some great stuff that came out of it personally, there was great stuff that came out of it professionally. Did a few things, and I'm really happy with the results. So will it be another 9 months before I work on more of it? I don't know. We'll see. Realized that meant I wasn't going to get any real movement in on Friday. I went to the gym, walked on the treadmill for an hour, just walked. Saturday, what happened Saturday? Saturday, hung out with some of the family, and we did the gift thing, and that was really nice. It was nice to see them. I hadn't seen some of them in a while. It wasn't everybody. We were smart with who was there because of obvious risk. Went to Costco, grabbed a few things, went to the gym. Noticing a pattern here. And then yesterday, went for a hike. It was cold, it was snowy, and invited a friend who I know struggles a bit through this time of year, and said, hey, let's go for a hike. So we went for a hike. Had a really nice time. We chatted about all kinds of stuff. And came home, made some food, watched some TV. It's a good time. It's a good time. There's a new show that I'm watching. Well, I watched a bunch of stuff. Finished up Black Summer, which was fantastic. Can't wait for the next season. Probably the best done zombie movie, TV show, whatever that I've ever seen. Cinematography is great. The acting is phenomenal. It's subtle. A lot of nuance, and I like that. I thought the new season of Letterkenny came out. I have like an eyelash in my eye. If you see me sticking my fingers in my eye, that's what I'm doing. I thought the new season of Letterkenny came out on Friday. I was all excited. Nope, didn't come out until Saturday. So I was up early on Saturday. I was like, I'll watch some of it before I go to the family thing. Nope, didn't air until 9 o'clock. I had to leave at 9:30. So I watched one of them. It was a short season. It was like 5 or 6 episodes. And the other thing that I'm watching is Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland. Not an easy name to say. And it's really good. It too has some really good, like most shows in the, primetime network vein. There's a lot of over the top, but this is less over the top, and the acting is a little better. And the writing is a little more realistic. There are definitely some plot holes to it, but it's fun, and I'm enjoying it. Emmett says, I sat and ate chocolate and turkey, not together, for 4 days and did nothing, which is an awesome contrast to the other 361 days of the year. I would agree. You know, how important is resting and relaxing? It's incorporated into every major religion. It's important. It's important that we chill out, take some time off. Family gifts were fun. It was a Secret Santa kind of a thing. I ended up with a Yeti can koozie, and a new pocket knife. Oh, and Batman Legos. Andrew says, good morning. Good morning, Andrew. And so I had a good weekend. Since I've seen you all, it's been 4 days. I had a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope whatever you did, family, friends, none of the above, I hope you had some stuff in there that was really enjoyable. I certainly did. And yeah, looking forward to the week. New Year's is plugging along here. It's going to be 2021 soon, and hopefully, knock on wood, we can put the pain of this year behind us. Ugh, man, it's been a rough year. Cat sitting over on the heater. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else to report. I've got this Christmas tree that now I've got to decide when it comes down, because it's just hanging out. It's a tree in my house. I've got so many other trees in my house. What's the issue, right? Oh, that's such good coffee. Well, I think you all wrote some stuff in it. At least Frank. I think I saw Frank come through with something last night. So let's see what it is, and let's talk about it. Oh, it's Monday. Is there an episode out yet? Julia's got it out yet? Let's find out. YouTube, library. Yes, today we have Sensei Daniel Kornguth. Really good conversation. This is somebody that... Can I say it without giving it away? No, not really. So we'll just leave it there. There's an episode. You should check it out. Frank says, let's see what's in the cards today. That's a pun. That's definitely a Frank pun right there. Today, Monday, December 20th, 2020, is card playing day. And my New Year's plans are pretty small, but they do involve Cards Against Humanity, with a couple local friends. So we will probably have a couple drinks, play some ridiculous Cards Against Humanity, which is still my favorite game. It's the best game, if you have the right people. If you have the right mindset and you play with the right people, because it's a terrible game. You have to have a little bit of a dark sense of humor for that game. Life is like a game of cards. Reliability is the ace. Industry is the king. Politeness the queen. Thrift the jack. Common sense is playing to best advantage the cards you draw, and every day as the game proceeds, you will find the ace, king, queen, jack in your hand, an opportunity to use them. Edgar Watson Howe. Stacy says Cards Against Humanity is so much fun, though. Yes, it is. The idea of comparing life to a card game, I think, is so apt, because I'm not someone who watches poker professionally, right? But I think we all know roughly how poker works, and we understand that conceptually, one's ability to play the cards they have is really the most important thing. You don't have any control over the cards that you are dealt, and that is life. Who your parents are, you have no control over that. How they raise you, you have no control over that. Your genetics, you have no control over that. So you could say that who you are up until even this moment, really, you don't have a terrible amount of control over that. So what do? You have to play the cards you're dealt. Now, I could have put a ton of time and energy into trying to be a basketball player. I'm 5'7", if I stretch up a little bit. I'm just shy. Was I going to go as far playing basketball as I went in karate? No. I could have gone into... I could have become a veterinarian. I struggled in biology class in high school when we were dissecting grasshoppers. How far would I have made it in vet school? Not. So I didn't go to vet school, right? Who we are, what motivates us is important. It's important to play the cards that we're dealt. Now, I did end up in martial arts. I did end up owning businesses. And I've put everything I have into those things. Play the cards you're dealt the best you can. Emmett says, marriage is like a hand of cards. It starts with a heart and a diamond and ends with a club and a spade. That's terrible. And that's why I'm laughing. Dark sense of humor, folks. Andrew says, I like where your head's at this morning. Well, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. I'm just responding to the stuff you all contribute. This is all Frank. All right. Number 2. When you find a king, keep him. When you find a queen, love and protect her. Don't reshuffle your cards because you may end up with a joker. Unknown. How do I respond to this one? We're at this I think this very interesting time in life, and we're not going to know the result of it for probably another at least 10, maybe 20 to 30 years in terms of dating, relationships, marriage, children. And I'm a great example. I'm 41. I am single. I have never been married. And as far as I can tell, there are far more people reaching their late 30s, 40s, even 50s, not getting married, not having children. So we could say, yeah, we're going to see a population decline. All right, maybe we do. But I think there's something more in there. Because there is a stability to life that comes from a good, healthy marriage. And I've seen it. I've seen it among my friends. Their ability to accumulate wealth and pass it down. Their ability to support each other, live longer. These things happen. There's data. You can verify it. Do I want to get married? Yeah, I'd like to. Do I want to have kids? If it's the right person and the timing works out. There's stuff I want to do. It's important. But we'll see. And so what makes me think of this is when you look at the general conversation among a lot of people that I hear talking about dating and dating apps, there is what comes across to me is this perception that good people to get into relationships with are incredibly rare, and a lot of people are essentially resigning themselves to not finding anyone. That they are dating with the idea that it will always be temporary, that they will go from one temporary relationship to another. That's sad. Andrew says there's no timing with kids. You're right. And that's probably why I don't have them. Maybe someday. I like teaching kids, and that's I've been able to scratch the kid itch in a sense by interacting with kids. I spent time playing with my niece on Saturday. As soon as I walked into the door, Uncle Jeremy, hey, I'm gonna go play with her. She matters. I'm gonna give her whatever I can. We cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play the hand. Randy Pausch. It's funny. I'm looking at this. There's 6 quotes here from Frank, and you know what's interesting, Frank. You know, the quote that always seems to come up when people talk about this subject you don't have here, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Not because I dislike it, but because it's not cliche, or it is cliche, and that's Kenny Rogers, The Gambler, the song, which actually was referenced in an early episode of Martial Arts Radio. What was his last name? Cecil Washington referenced it in his episode because it is such a great way to view life. Gotta know when to hold them, when to fold them, etc. And I completely lost track of the quote that we actually have here, so my apologies. Going back in, we cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play the hand. That's all you can do. At any given moment, wherever you are, what you're doing. Like what you're doing right now, you're watching this. And if you're watching this, it's because it is you deem it to be the best use of your time given whatever constraints there are around time, money, etc. Right? Everything we do is based on value. So to play those cards, whatever they are, to make those choices in life, people, actions, it's all we can do is know how we move forward from the point we are at in this moment. What I do right now. What I do as soon as I'm done with this show. What am I going to do? I'm going to grab another cup of coffee, and I'm going to go edit the book. I'm going to start the spell checking. I got a couple of names I'm going to swap. I'm going to go work on the book because that's the most important thing I can do right now. If you remember the Patreon, you got access to the draft, the complete first draft. Almost 70,000 words, 68.5, something like that. You know what? It still doesn't have a title. I don't think. Did I put a working title in? I think I might have put a working title in. Struggling to come up with a title. I am wired up today. Maybe it's the coffee. All right. Destiny plays its cards in a way that no one can comprehend. Destiny plays its cards in a way that no one can comprehend. Anurag Shourie, author of Half a Shadow. You could say that's fate or destiny or the universe or God or spirit, whatever you want to call it. You could also think of it as the collective result of what everyone else is doing. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that we interact with. And the momentum of all those other actions grossly outweigh what we do as individuals. Which is why going with the flow sometimes makes sense. Fighting the current doesn't usually work out. Think of it like a sailboat. If you've ever been on a sailboat or you understand how wind works, sailing into the wind is virtually impossible. You can kind of cut back, but eventually, if where you need to go is that way and the wind is that way, and you go this way, it's just going to make it harder later. So you gotta pick your battles. One should always play fairly when one has the winning cards. Oscar Wilde. Oh, that's great. You don't want to cheapen anything. Right? And this is kind of the way that I see martial arts leadership. If you're already prominent, you're already the head of a school or a system, you already have tremendous skill, what's your job? Your job is to help your family, help them move up, help them grow, help them become better, help them not make the same mistakes you did. Be a leader. And I think most do that, but there's still far too many who will do everything they can to maintain that delta, that discrepancy, that difference between themselves and others, because it's the only thing they have to hang their hat on. And it makes me sick. There was a martial arts group that posted a question yesterday, day before, asking about why such a small percentage of people participate in martial arts. Everybody was speculating and had, no, it's about value. Everything we do is around value. And we do not do a good job as a unified front presenting the value of martial arts, because we argue and contradict and present these paradoxes publicly, and people go, I'm not jumping in on this. It's great for health, and so many of our high-ranking instructors are obviously unhealthy. It's great for, what were the three? There were three examples I gave. That was the only one that's coming to mind right now. Cards. Playing cards. Last one. Those bellhops in Miami are tip happy. I ordered a deck of playing cards and the bellboy made 52 trips to my room. Henny Youngman. Henny Youngman's an old comedian. If any of you don't know that name. So. All right. Well, it's great stuff. Thank you, Frank. And thank you to all of you who are watching. So here's what's going to happen now. I'm going to finish this cup of coffee. I'm going to have another cup of coffee. I'm going to work on that book. And I am very hopeful. Oh, Frank, I'm going to read that in a moment. Oh, and I've got something from Emmett. I really hope to have that book launched in the new year. Obviously in the new year. Next month, like early. So here are the next steps. I got to finish my editing, which means I've got to, this is how I edit most things. I'm going to go through it as like a spell check, grammar check, use Microsoft Word's built-in thing. I took a couple notes of things that I wanted to change with names. I'm going to change those. And then I start the process of really editing it. There are some sections that might be a little dry that I need to kind of puff up. I got to make sure everything's, the continuity is there. I think I might have some issues with tense. I think I might be shifting from present to past tense language in some spots. I want to fix that. And then I'll give it to a couple people to read, incorporate their edits, and put it out there. And then everybody can buy it. All right. Emmett says, my nieces and nephews love to see me at Christmas. My siblings hate it. Maybe because I usually bring martial arts weapons as presents. Foam nunchaku or a Joe staff. Kids love them. Yes, they do. Frank says, I love when you ask guests on the podcast how martial arts has helped them through hard times. I do too. It's something that I find really inspiring, really powerful. And interestingly, I don't usually have to ask that question. Usually it comes up organically. If it doesn't, I will often ask them. But most people's stories get into something that's rough. And so I may not frame the question as in, tell us about a rough time and how you got through it and how martial arts was helpful in that context. But most of the time you can tell. And that's kind of been the evolution of my interview style is I don't ask those canned questions as often. Sometimes I do. Sometimes that's what the conversation needs, but usually we just kind of flow. And I've got a feeling that if I was asking people in person, we would need that even less. So I want to thank you for coming by. I want to thank you for supporting Whistlekick and gracing me with your comments this morning, your comments after the fact, which if you've got something you want me to talk about, leave it in the comment section. Once the show closes, I will read it tomorrow. Because yes, we do this every weekday, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube. Forgot where we were. So thank you, everybody. Take care, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Peace.